Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's question and answer session. I'm doing this live on YouTube, mainly for the people who have done my free SEO course, and I've also made sure that I'm running this on Clubhouse as well. So it's a live question and answer session, which is live on YouTube. The viewers are going to be given the questions, and you can ask away questions in Clubhouse, I think, as well. No, I'm not sure if you can, but if you're on Clubhouse listening and you want to take part and you've got a question, jump onto the Craig Campbell SEO YouTube channel. I'll be answering a whole bunch of questions from a whole bunch of different people in relation to digital marketing and anything, whether it's SEO, paid, YouTube, whatever it might be. You can get your questions answered here. I do this weekly mainly for the people who have done my free SEO course, and obviously these people are always going to have questions that need answered. So guys, let me know who is there in the live chat on YouTube. The Furman UK, hello. I will start the questions just shortly, just letting people come in, and then we will answer them. Eden Powell, I'll come back to that question in just a moment. Ahoy, Ryan Durrani, good to see you. Also good to see Thomas, Stephanie Parth, Justin, Chris, Max, Anne, and I'm not sure if I mentioned Jordan, but I think I did, on Clubhouse as well. So I'm doing this in Clubhouse as well for those who like audio talking about SEO. So we've also got Green Grass in the live YouTube chat. So guys, get your questions in. Let me know what you want to know, and I will answer as many of these questions in the next hour that I possibly can. Stephen Shaprio is there. Happy Monday, Holly Starks. Good to see you. Paul Delaney. Hope life is good. All is good here, other than the obvious lockdown. Facebook user, good to see you. Wayne McDonald, hello. So lots of hellos going on in the YouTube chat. Not so many questions just yet, but it might take a moment or so. But guys, questions, put them in the live chat. I will go through as many of them as I possibly can. And there you go. And it's Stephen Shapiro. I'm not sure where I got Shapiro from, but there you go, Shapiro, that's the right pronunciation. Angelique Cortez is there. Gary Farmer, Gary F is in the house, and the Furman UK. Yeah, if you want to send me a Facebook message with your phone number, I can send you a Clubhouse invite. I do have 5 of them, guys, so if none of you guys are on Clubhouse, I do need your number to be able to send it through your mobile. You do need an iPhone, and yeah, sadly, it's only for iPhones at the moment, I believe. So if you want a Clubhouse invite, ping me on Facebook with your mobile number, and I'll send you an invite. I've only got 5 of them that I can give away, though. And yeah, get yourself onto Clubhouse, because I think it is really going to be a big thing. This is actually my first Clubhouse proper live. So I'm going to start to do more of them and see if I can get any traction from there. And hello to Tybor. So Jude McLean is asking, the best way to find a joint venture in the SEO world, would you recommend? Now, with joint ventures, it can be difficult, in my opinion. When you do joint ventures with people, you need to make sure that you are doing a joint venture with someone who is going to bring something to the table. Now, it's really important that that happens, because you don't want to be doing a joint venture with someone and you find out that you're doing all of the work, because that very often is the case. There's someone with the idea and they want you to do all the free grunt work. And that doesn't really work out well in the end, because the person doing all the work eventually falls out with the person, or becomes, a bit dismayed with the situation, and their heart goes out of it and the whole thing breaks down. So, of course, joint ventures can work very well. Partnering up with people with various different skills can work 100%. People do it. Just be careful, though. I've done a few joint ventures with people, and they person, these people haven't been willing to put in as much effort as I was, and the whole thing did break down. So it's just about finding the right people and the right skill sets, and finding someone whose skills complement your skills, rather than someone just having an idea and you do all the SEO work, because I think that is where things become a bit problematic. Eden Powell, going back to GMB, Google My Business, is now showing the business age. Can this be manipulated? I'm not sure yet, because it's obviously a new feature. I'm not sure how seriously the business age is taken into account. Obviously, if it is going to give any ranking signal, everyone's going to say their business is older than it is. So I can't really see that being a major thing. But I'm sure where these things are concerned, there will be people trying to manipulate it. But it's a case of sitting back and seeing how that can be manipulated, and how much impact that actually has on a Google My Business listing. So for now, it's probably too early to say. I've not played around with it, but something definitely worth playing around with. And guys, if you're in Clubhouse and you want to join in the questions, please jump onto my YouTube channel and you can see the questions live there. But I will be answering them all on Clubhouse as well. Green Grass is asking, does profile link building still helps with rankings? To some degree, depending on what profiles you're getting, yes. But it's, you want links from good quality, relevant websites that have decent traffic. Profile links are not always do follow, they're not always the highest of quality. So, some profiles, of course, will help, but it's not a strategy that I would be fully focusing on. Just focus on quality and relevance, and getting links from websites that actually do have traffic, and you will do a lot better. Paul Delaney, I've heard you talk about a well-priced service for virtual phone numbers before, but didn't write it down. Any chance you could remind me, please? So for virtual numbers, you can use either Twilio.com, or I use someone in the UK called Soho66.co.uk. Now, basically, any of these numbers can be forwarded onto a mobile or whatever. Or VoIP phones. So yeah, you can do that kind of stuff, and it's very, very easy to set that up, and they do have support and all that kind of stuff. So Twilio is the best for virtual phone numbers, in my opinion. Soho 66 purely because it's a VoIP phone that I particularly wanted to use. So hopefully that helps you, mate. Ryan, for reputation management clients that need negative articles pushed down, do you find CTR manipulation effective for that? Yes, CTR manipulation can help, especially if you're trying to shake something out of position one. With a lot of reputation management that I've done in the past, you don't always have to go to the lengths of doing CTR manipulation. Sometimes just, you're using the power of a great, resource like I don't know, the Huffington Post or whatever, or Medium or LinkedIn or whatever. It can be enough to push these things down. But when push comes to shove, CTR is a ranking factor, and if you're trying to squeeze something out of position one and force it down, then yes, CTR manipulation can become very effective. So for reputation management, anything goes. Obviously, the job is to flush down the negative stuff as far down to whatever page you want to go. And it's CTR can come into play. There's a whole bunch of other stuff, but utilizing the power of other websites is the main thing. So that's what I'd be looking at. Building comment and comment backlinks helps in ranking. Again, low end strategy. I'm not going to sit here and say it doesn't have any impact at all, because I think, if you do look at having comments on big places, then it can have a slight impact. So yeah, it can, but again, some of them don't. Some of them are no follow. Some of them are garbage. It's just about going after the quality ones. But again, blog commenting is not a strategy that I'd be too worried about in terms of that moving the needle. There's plenty of other link building strategies. Zane is asking, sir, should we use country or city name in e-commerce product titles? Probably not, Zane, because I think with e-commerce, you're going to be shipping countrywide or potentially even further afield. So do you want to just tie yourself into ranking in a specific area? The answer is probably no. So I wouldn't be doing that. Now, of course, you can have geographic specific landing pages, but I certainly wouldn't be using them in the product titles. Definitely not. If you want to rank locally, citywide or whatever, have designated pages for that. But certainly I wouldn't be incorporating that into the product titles or any of the main categories or anything like that, purely because I don't want to be restricting everything that I'm doing. It's the man himself. How am I? I'm all good, Ryan Houghton. Hope you are too. Ryan Durrani, best ways to rank a GMB map without a website. It's the same way you'd rank one with a website. You don't need a website to rank a GMB. Citations, sending traffic, click-through rate and engagement, potentially building a few links to the CID URL are all important ways to rank GMB listing. Do you need a website? Absolutely not. If you look for anything out there on the GMB listings, you'll see that there's many map pack rankings that don't have any website. So very simple and easy to do, especially if you're doing lead gen. You really don't, all you want is those calls. You don't necessarily need the website. Obviously, having a website helps grow and does other things for you, but certainly not a requirement. Best way equals call Ryan Durrani. Zane, sir, SEO consultant know about website editing in any CMS so that he can edit website, or SEO consultant should hire a developer. So what you're basically asking here is, does an SEO consultant edit websites himself, or does he hire a developer? Well, SEO consultants more often than not are not developers, and developers are not SEO consultants. So if I wanted a website developed well and it was a professional or corporate job, then of course I would hire a professional developer to do that work. I don't like web development, and I don't particularly want to do any web development. So you're better outsourcing the parts that you're not skilled at or you don't like doing, because I like to concentrate fully on the SEO side of things. But some SEOs come from a web development background, and these guys can certainly help you a great deal. So, and if they can do it, then why not? So each to their own. Scott Latham, afternoon sugar plum. I hope you're well, mate. Stephen Shapiro, got it right that time, Stephen. What would you advise to someone who's trying to build a website in a budget of £3,000? All for links, content is done and sorted. It's a photography affiliate website. Not necessarily, Stephen. Links, of course, are going to help. If all the content is done, I mean, I find that hard to believe. Could you add more content? Is the content as good as it can be? Is it surfer optimized? Have you squeezed as much out of that content as you possibly can? Probably not. So, if that was the case and you'd done all your own page and your content was all amazing, then fine. Go and spend that money in backlinks. But I think, with anything, the content could be better, and I would be, probably spending maybe 2,000 backlinks and maybe 1,000 going over the content and adding to it. That is going to stand you in much better stead. Digital Shabazz, I can't answer a question of best way to create backlinks, because link building alone could go into 3 hours worth of conversation. Just do outreach, buy them, whatever, but I can't tell you the loads of best ways. It's a question and answer session, so it's not a link building guide. I do have a link building playlist on YouTube if you want to go through the different ways to build links. That is your best bet to answer that question, but I don't want to sit here and bore everyone to tears with a link building guide. So be very specific with your questions, guys. Makes it a lot easier to answer. Do you know where to buy aged and verified Gmails in the UK? There are a ton of sellers. I don't personally use them anymore. Mine's are all aged, but go to Black Hat World and go to the marketplace. There's always guys selling that stuff in there, and these guys are all tested and genuinely, more often than not, are offering a good service. So check out there, because I don't know anyone off the top of my head that I can recommend. Zane, when you charge $1,000 from a client, does it include charges of content writers and developer for your £1,000? Absolutely not. If someone wants content and someone wants web development, then these are additional fees. £1,000 would be for my time optimizing what is there. Anything additional all comes at an added cost. You can't do development, content, and SEO for $1,000 a month. It's just not feasible. Now, you might be able to do something, depends on the niche, but for me, you've also got to make a profit. So don't sell yourself short. Make sure that, if the customer is needing more stuff, more content, then they see that as an investment to their business. That really shouldn't come out of your consultancy fee or whatever. So you need to make sure that you draw the lines with the client, so to speak, and make sure that they understand that they can spend £2,000, £3,000, which might include content. It's just how you set it up with the client. George Tech, does a migration from marketplace path to products path impact SEO relevance? Yes, 100%. You need to make sure that path, if you're migrating from one to another, you need to make sure that the redirects and stuff like that are done. If they're not, then your website's going to have a whole load of 404 errors, and any links that are pointing to those old URLs are potentially going to die unless you do the redirect. So of course that migration and that doing the appropriate redirects and everything are really important, because there's probably been a whole heap of work done to pages and everything else in the past. So you want to make sure that you are making sure that path is redirected, so that you're passing some of the juice to the new page. So yeah, migrations gone wrong are a very common thing in the SEO world, but your redirects are really important, because it does have a massive impact in your SEO. The Furman, are you currently using CTR Booster? Having issues even with residential proxies at the moment. So yes, I do use CTR Booster, but yes, I've also seen a whole heap of problems with CTR Booster in recent weeks, and it is becoming more frequent that the guys just keep saying update your whatever it is, that they keep saying Chrome drivers or whatever, and it still doesn't work and stuff like that. So it's becoming a bit of a pain in the ass, if I'm being honest. I've had Packet Stream, I've had other proxies and whatnot, and I've had problem with Packet Stream, I've had problems with other proxies. I think the problem there is the tool itself and not the proxies or anything. I'm not sure why it glitches out, but it is buggy as hell. And I know a lot of people in the industry are getting frustrated with CTR Booster, because it's a great tool when it's working, but it seems just now that it's more often broken than it is working. And for that reason, I lean slightly towards other things to manipulate that click-through rate. So as much as it's a great tool, it's the bane of my life just now. It's not worked properly for me for a few months. Let me just say that. Wayne McDonald, I've been doing affiliate marketing for a long time. Do you remember the good old days when we could promote CB links directly through AdWords? It was like printing money. Yeah, obviously there's still ways to do things like that through cloaking and whatnot, but yeah, it's getting harder and harder to to do that stuff. And yeah, it was like printing money before. And I think with a lot of things, I'd love to go back 10 years ago and just do more of it and scale much more aggressively. But times change, and obviously affiliate managers and everything are looking for all the kind of dodgy tricks, and just making life a wee bit more difficult for us. But there's always going to be loopholes and ways around about it, and still a few good ones that still work to this day. So yeah, Itamar, good to see you, mate, and well done in the book launch. I seen that earlier. So Itamar has a book out, and yeah, fair play to him. Young guy making his way in the SEO industry, and already has a wee book out, which is always good for your brand awareness and all that kind of stuff. So good to see that, Itamar. Zane, should we not send emails from Gmail because Google may notice if we engage in conversation of buying links? I mean, that could be severe paranoia. Now, imagine the amount of emails that Google would have to look at on a daily basis across the world for doing that stuff. Do I think someone's going to be penalized for that? I'm not so sure, man. I'm not so sure. I certainly buy links and do things and stuff like that, and I don't really take that into account. Google knows everyone's doing it. Let's not kid ourselves. People buy links all over the place. Obviously, Google's job is to tell people that that's not the best practice, but there's not a lot they can do to stop it from happening. So I wouldn't be too worried about that, man. But if it makes you feel better, by all means, do what you need to do. But I think, Google have got a lot other more pressing things to be dealing with than worrying about your emails and what you're buying, to be honest. So, but as I say, whatever gives you peace of mind is good for you. David Holgate, good to see you, mate. See you're back to the old picture, or is that just on YouTube? But yeah, I think it's just because you've not updated it in YouTube. Afternoon, Craig. I find it easy to rank e-commerce clients, so thinking about building my own e-com store, but I don't have time to manage stock. Can you recommend dropshipping? I've had mixed feedback. So, David, I mean, there's a lot of good dropshippers out there. I'm not going to sit here and dismiss it, but I've had my fingers burnt a few times with dropshipping. Guys running out of stock and all that stuff and sending the wrong stuff out. So, obviously you're passing that control over to someone else, and it's like anything in life where there's human beings or other people involved, things can go pear-shaped. I would just make sure it is a drop shipper of a substantial size. I've done it in the I built an e-commerce website to target the vaping niche years ago, and basically we got a drop shipper who was going to supply all the e-liquids and stuff, and we found out in the end it was some geezer doing this in his kitchen or whatever in Leeds. Now, he gave off the vibe that he was, a big proper professional and all that stuff. But what we very quickly found out is that he just couldn't satisfy the demand for the orders we were getting, and it fell apart. So I've had my fingers burnt with a few small drop shippers, but I think, if you're looking into things, just make sure that it is someone of a reasonable size that you're working with, and someone that's professional enough, and you shouldn't go too far wrong. But yeah, it can be a pain, and there's always hard luck stories and all of that kind of stuff. But it is what it is. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Just try and find someone a bit more professional and go on from there. Next question. Atif Shah, do check Facebook comment. I just have checked and can't see anything in my comments there, so I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be saying. But rather than me jumping around trying to find Facebook comments, if you just want to stick it in here, it's probably easier, and I can try and answer it for you. If you're trying to sell me something, inbox me and I'll delete it later or whatever. But yeah, obviously I'm here to answer questions, not anything else. So please try and not pitch me if that's what you're trying to do. And I hope you might not be, and apologies if you're not. But yeah, just trying to do a Q&A and put your questions here, and I can answer them a lot easier. Eden Powell, what's your thoughts of the value of website versus GMBs? Both in page one, but GMB views and calls are 10 times more than my website. Listen, GMBs, don't underestimate the power of them, the value of them. We all know that the majority of the traffic is going to go to the GMB because of where they're positioned. So GMB is going to win all day long, and that's where I'd be focusing a lot of my efforts. Focus on what's bringing in the calls and the money, basically. And Atif Shah saying that I'm only checking the YouTube ones. Not entirely true, Atif. I'm not sure if you're sticking a link in, but there's certainly people here asking questions that are not from YouTube. But you're on YouTube, Atif, so if it's not coming up on Facebook, let's make things easier and just put the question here rather than, I'm not sure what you're trying to achieve here, argue or whatever. But you are, adamant that there's something in Facebook. I'm going to go to Facebook again just now. I can't see anything from you at all. So I can see Gary Farmer who messaged me on through Facebook and stuff like that. So your comments are not coming through for one reason. Not trying to be awkward, but if it's not coming through, I'm not sure if you've allowed Facebook access to these stuff and stuff like that. Now, I can now see it. It's on my Facebook profile that you've got it. How can we get backlinks from big websites like the BBC? Any press release service you can recommend? So that's Atif's question now. Atif, with the BBC, you're not going to buy some article and someone's going to get you in the BBC. You would need to go through a PR service, and someone's going to have to pitch your news story to the BBC, and it's got to be newsworthy and everything else. If it's not, that you're just simply not going to get in the BBC. It's a free, BBC pick up news for free. They don't charge for it, and there's not a guy at random access to that. Of course, guys have got random access to other websites, but you need to do proper PR for that. Now, just to clarify, Atif, if you ask questions on here and you don't allow specific settings, your stuff's not going to then pull through to StreamYard. So it's probably your security settings that restrict that from coming through. You've also asked, is it possible to meet me in the UK? At the moment, that's no. I'm not really looking to meet people just by the COVID situation. But after that, yeah, I do regularly travel the UK, go to different events, go and see friends in London or whatever. And I regularly do post in my Facebook where I'm going and meet up with new people to network and engage and have a beer. So I'm always up for that, obviously, when the COVID thing does die down. But for now, that's not possible. But yeah, always open to meeting new people, and I regularly do that all the time. So if I'm near you, then do hit me up and we can go for a beer. Next one, Stephen Shapiro. I'm working for a really popular SEO agency and I get paid, $4 an hour for a full-time job. Is there any way I can get something more than this? I've got decent experience in SEO and have been doing it for a while. Stephen, where are you based first and foremost? Let me know that first. Of course, there's much better paying jobs than that. People that work in SEO agencies can get paid a hell of a lot more than that. That is probably the lowest of the low. But if you're, out in the Philippines or something, then, that might be a high wage for that. And that's why I'm asking your location. But if you're experienced and you can do that, there's many companies out there who really need SEO professionals. And, a lot of these professionals are not charging $4 an hour. So definitely be looking to try and get something better than that, man. You've got to. Zane, If someone in New Jersey wants to have an e-commerce store of laptops, then what kind of keywords can rank him in Google's first page? Laptops, New Jersey? Whatever. You need to go to SEMrush and find out what those search terms are. I don't know, you know, exactly the search volumes and stuff, but I'm pretty sure laptops New Jersey would work well. But that's up to you to research using SEMrush or Ahrefs or something else to find out what is actually being searched when people are looking for laptops, and you get your keyword ideas there. So I'm just loosely saying laptops. I'm not going to research it. But I would be using data to make those decisions, and that a SEMrush or an Ahrefs is going to help you do that. SB greets Craig. I've applied for an SEO specialist position. What are the basic things junior specialists have to be good at? Listen, you don't have to be particularly good at SEO overall. You might just be really good at link building. You might be really good at content. You might be really good at on page. You might be very good at technical. Try and hone your skills in one area first before you broaden out. Because I think, if you're a general SEO guy, that just knows a little bit about everything, there's not that much value. When I'm looking for someone, I want a guy to do a very specific role. So whether that's content or whether it's link building or outreach or whatever it might be, then I've got positions for those types of people, and that's the type of people I'm looking at. I'm not just looking for a general SEO specialist. I think positioning yourself as a specialist in something rather than just a generic SEO guy is really what people are going to see value in. We all need a content guy or a technical guy or whatever it might be. So I think find something that you enjoy, and try and really scale out on that and really understand every last detail about that, and then start to broaden your SEO skills from there, and you will be a much more attractive option to potential employers. Atif, how to get backlinks, right? So we've done that one. Any press release service you can recommend? There's loads of PR people out there. To get the BBC and the New York Times and everything, you'd need to speak to the PR people in question. Obviously BBC, you would want to speak to someone in the UK. Just speak to some PR agencies, and they're likely to have done this before, and they know the angles that they have to go in at. They'll use data, statistics, and everything else, because that's the type of content that the BBC want to see. So you're better going specifically to those agencies and seeing if that's something they can achieve. But BBC, New York Times and stuff are the highest, of links, and they're likely to be costly. So just bear that in mind as well. There's a lot of other very powerful websites that are not as hard to get on. So depends on why you're going for these particular ones. But there's always a way. There's always a way, that's for sure. Parth Suba, good evening, Craig. I'm looking forward to buying expired domains for my indirect backlink exchange purpose. Can I find those from the ODYS platform? You can do. The ODYS platform gives you premium expired domains. They're not spammed to death. They are brandable. They're of higher quality than your normal ones. So check out ODYS. You can check out the link below, odys.cc, and you can get $100 just for signing up through that link. So check them out, see what's available, man. But yeah, they've got some decent stuff on there. Abhay Sharma, good to see you. Sorry, I've just scrolled down too far. SB, do you optimize web page speed via any tools? What exactly do I use? So at the moment, I use WP Rocket. On my WordPress website, you can use NitroPack. That is also good. I have tried that out. But yeah, other than that, you want a developer to cut down, parts of your website that are just bloated with code and stuff like that. But you're looking to use these plugins to get a quicker result, and they do work relatively well. So do try out WP Rocket. Javid, does relationship niche come under your money, your life? I'm not sure. I'm not sure about relationships. That's probably. I mean, nah, probably not. I wouldn't imagine so. Obviously, your money, your life, would be given like specific advice on certain things, beauty, cosmetics, and stuff. You can't just have some random Joe giving that information out. So I'm not sure relationship advice would come under that, to be honest, but I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think it would be. I think you'd be fine in that niche, because relationships are relationships, so they're not like life or death or anything like that. Jude McLean, is dropshipping not extremely cash intensive? Sounds like a nightmare. Not necessarily, I mean, obviously with dropshipping, the way it can work is someone can order through your website. The order just simply goes straight to the dropshipper and they'll invoice you weekly. Now you're going to have taken in, say, £1,000, and you're going to have to maybe pay your dropshipper £400 or £500. So it's still profit. It is a bit more of a nightmare because they want their invoice paid, and there's a bit more to it than an affiliate just doing the thing and you get paid a commission. So drop shipping is a little bit more admin intensive and stuff like that. But and I mean, each to their own. So there's very, very successful people with drop shipping websites, so it's hard to criticize it. It's not my idea of fun, but yeah, I think I would rather not do it if I could. So there are better options such as affiliate Jude. Ramchandra, do you have a detailed checklist of sorts which we can use when doing SEO? Not a checklist as such. I've got full free course that's available, which is available on my website, and I've also got a lot of stuff in YouTube, so you can use that as a kind of playlist. It's all in playlists, and it can be seen as a guide, so to speak, but not just a random checklist as such. Just going through everything that I think needs to be done, and how I do it, and that kind of does form some form of checklist. So hope that helps you, man. Cool. Sean Ash, I have someone offering WP package where SEMrush Pro, YPass, WP Rocket, and Vato, and a few more. They're offering all of that for $29 a month. Is there any reality to it? Probably is reality to it. But if they're giving you SEMrush and everything else, obviously these are group buys and or whatever. And obviously the Envato theme, is going to be a null theme, so you're more prone to hacks and stuff like that. So I personally wouldn't use them. I'd rather not use something like that. And there's nothing wrong at all with using the SEMrush, group buy, but you don't get to store your data on there. You don't get to log in 5 days and check out your audit again or anything. So for me, these things are real, but you're just not getting the full value out of them, in my opinion. So I certainly wouldn't be touching something like that. I'd rather just pay the full price, but that's my own opinion. Everyone's got different, ways of working and stuff like that. But it is what it is. So there you go. I'm not seeing many posts here on Facebook. Good day, Craig. Good to see you. Blagger, always got to blag. Fake it till you make it. Do whatever. Does Google paid search, also known as AdWords, help boost your organic ranking? So people will tell you it does. People will tell you it doesn't. My conclusion to this question is not necessarily. So just running an AdWords campaign doesn't mean you're going to get better rankings. But if you're running AdWords to pages, and it's driving traffic, clicks, engagement, and everything else. Indirectly, of course, that's going to help your rankings. So I don't think it's just the fact that you're doing AdWords, it's the click-through rate, engagement, and the traffic from that paid campaign that is going to help with your organic search rankings. That is where the benefit lies. So I think AdWords and SEO should, you should be working hand in hand, and making sure that you do utilize AdWords to boost your SEO efforts for sure. So Mawulam Peku, what is my take on PBNs? PBNs done correctly work very well. A lot of people don't do them that well, and they just have crappy websites. The PBNs don't have traffic, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So you do have bad PBNs that are out there, and these are not necessarily going to work that well for you. So do them properly. Make sure your PBNs are also monetized. You make them affiliate websites. They do have traffic. They do have their own rankings. They do have, regular content going on there, and that is what I would call a real PBN. A real website that's just an asset for you to use from a link building perspective. Stephen Shapiro, I'm from India. It's not that high of a salary here, and I've been pitching to a lot of people for now, and I haven't had a great deal of success after I've got the skills because you're from India. So, Stephen, yes, I totally get that, and the problem you do have is that, with the best will in the world, and I mean no offense here, but Indians are pitching people in the all over the world on a daily basis, spamming the shit out of them. So it's very hard to differentiate because of the sheer volume of spam, who's good and who's bad. So I think you just have to showcase your skills in a different way. I think a lot of people out there, show sheer desperation and all that kind of stuff. And that's where I think sometimes you're just blanket, people think it's low quality crap work or whatever. And that's certainly not the case. I know many Indians who do amazing work. And, I've been to India myself, love the place, and thoroughly enjoyed my time there. And I know that there's good people there and good skills there. But from a guy that stays, in the UK, my inbox is bombarded by guys selling me this, selling me that, selling me this. And it's to the point where you just flick through it and go, no way, no chance. I'm not even going to read it. And that's just the unfortunate thing. So I think you just have to do a bit more to stand out from the crowd rather than be another Indian guy. And obviously, case studies and talking, putting your neck on the line. I've seen a guy, I'm not sure if he was on Clubhouse or he was in the chat here, Parth Suba, young Indian chap. He's, on now hosting SEMrush stuff and demonstrating his knowledge. And, Parth is one of the good Indian guys because he does know his stuff, and, and he can command more money now because he's putting his neck out there. So trying to get these opportunities to speak online and do more than the average Indian is going to set you apart from, these other guys. And you look at guys like Digital Critique and stuff like that out there. Again, he utilizes social media very, very well to his advantage and showcases his knowledge. And again, he will make a lot more money than the average Indian because he's putting himself out there. So I just think you have to pitch it in a different way than the average Indian does. And hopefully that, someone sees that and takes you up on it and gives you a much better salary than the $4 that you're currently earning. Because, obviously it's not great money out in India. It's not bad money either, but I think you can potentially squeeze more out of it. But not in India. I'm not sure if in India agencies pay any more than that, but certainly you as an individual, you can somehow make more money than that. That's for sure, especially if you've got the skills and expertise that you see you have. Jan Doan, do you use, beside local schema, also FAQ schema for some pages? Does it make sense in local niches? Listen, FAQ schema works very well. I think you've got to utilize it where possible, because people do, especially when looking for locksmiths and that type of thing. They do ask FAQs and very question related search terms. So I would be looking to utilize that where possible, and grab as much of the landscape as you possibly can. Adding FAQ schema can give you more of those FAQ boxes, take up more of the landscape, and again, you're doing something more than the competition, and that's what we want to do. Is just do that bit more than everyone else. Justin Sinclair Thompson, what do you think of using a service like Sizen PR Newswire for a syndicated press release to a wide range of publishers? It usually ends up with no follow backlinks, but do they have any value still? So, Justin, yes, they do still have value. They're great for brand awareness. And, I don't think that no follow backlinks don't pass any value at all. Of course, they are no follow and all that kind of stuff. But, it's natural to have some no follow backlinks. And that's just the way the game is played. But certainly from some of these publishers that do pick up on your story, they can then drive a lot of traffic and CTR and benefits like that to your website as well. One tip on Sizen PR Newswire. Here's the thing. Back in October 2020, I went to Sizen Direct, and it cost me, I think it was £1,026, including the VAT, to ping a story that I had out to their newswire. There's a guy called magicpr.com who will write your article and submit it to Sizen for $699. Now, the only reason I'm saying that is Sizen doing that yourself can be costly. Getting that guy to do it who's pitching PR every day for half the price, because $699 is what, like 500 and something bucks. It's half the bloody price that I would pay personally direct. So I said to that guy, like, why, how are you getting it so cheap? Obviously, because he's doing it all day, every day. He's got a massive discount on that stuff, whereas I randomly approached Sizen myself and it cost me a fortune. So check out magicpr.com. They can actually write the article for you as well as pitching that out there to Sizen and a whole bunch of other places as well. So just a little hack there around Sizen. Sorry, Sizen, if you're listening, but Magic PR's deal's better than your own direct. So there you go. And we all want deals. And that's Parth Subba there. That's the Indian guy who hosts in SEMrush now. And they've actually met Parth out in India. So Parth took time to come to see me in India and a whole bunch of other SEO people. So networking, put your face out there will certainly help you, Stephen. Because again, when I went to India, loads of guys were asking me, why do we never get work? Are we doing something wrong and all that stuff? And yeah, it's just sheer aggression. And I get why you're doing it. We all want to sell, but I'm just giving you our thought process here to you guys. And as I say, I've got a lot of friends, including Parth out in India, who has helped me with a number of different things over the years. So it's all about having contacts in the right places, in the right countries and everything else. And this industry is very much a worldwide industry. You can be in India and you can make some good money. So there you go. Hello, Umair. Good to see you. Zane, Ahrefs is not showing specific searches in New Jersey for laptop e-commerce store. It's showing keywords like best laptops where Amazon and big sites are ranking. I mean, of course, it's going to show the bigger rankings. New Jersey, I'm not sure. I'm not American, so I'm not sure how big or small an area like New Jersey is. I know it's very close to New York, so maybe New York is the best search term. But there will be people in New Jersey searching for that. Be rest assured. It just might not show up a lot of data on the likes of Ahrefs because they're not really that concerned about smaller areas. So always bear that in mind as well. Uh, Sean Ash, thank you. Jan Don, I've tested GMB, RSS, expired Tumblr, WordPress with Zapier. It is moving the needle. Wanted to let you know I index the sites with iframe YouTube videos for faster results. There you go, a man who actually does testing. So I love that, Jan. A lot of people don't try these crazy methods. If it's moving the needle for you, obviously rinse and repeat. But I love guys like Jan here, actually, who is doing these things, trying different strategies and everything else, and he's getting results from it. So good job, Jan. Thank you for sharing that. It's always good to hear that. Zane, hey Stephen, you should bid on projects on Upwork at night from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. as competition is low or everyone's in their bed. I like that as well, Zane. Thinking outside the box, trying to get the advantage. That's what it's all about. So I love that approach as well, Zane. So good work. Craig Mullins has given his opinion on this, being ripped off too many times. Won't buy overseas work or any work anymore without an escrow option. That is the other side as well. You get not just India, by the way, anywhere people can rip you off. So, and that's obviously becoming more frequent online, basically. So people are more skeptical in who they work with, just the nature of the beast. And yeah, you've got that to contend with as well, which is a pain. You can follow Hisham Sarwar channel for writing a proposal on Upwork. You can earn a lot on Upwork if you bid with consistency and have patience. Hearth is saying thank you for the mention. It means a lot to him. Always good to help good to mention the good guys, mate. You know that. I don't mind sharing the good people with the world. So there you go. Dan Jones is saying Bing really seems to like Schema too. So get whatever you can from any search engine, including Bing. Stephen Shapiro, sorry. Thanks a lot for the advice, Craig. I don't spam people's inbox. Haha. Just made $5,000 with affiliate sites in a few months and was thinking of a more stable source of income because the income is too unstable right now. So yeah, it can be unstable, obviously, when you're doing affiliate stuff. But that's where you have to diversify your income streams, have some stuff on the side, have a few affiliate websites and stuff like that. I think, just bide your time, man, and pick the right opportunities that come out. But yeah, just try and do different things and get yourself out there. So yeah, there you go. Thank you so much. That was a great answer. No worries at all, Justin. Yeah, it's all about saving money in it. So yeah, I learned that lesson myself. I'm like, oh, I paid $1,026 for this crap, and I could have got it elsewhere for half the price. But you live and learn. It's all fun. No problem at all. Zane, we still have 7 minutes left, guys. So got opportunities for a few more questions. Make sure you put them in the chat. Also, do give the YouTube channel a little like and subscribe if you don't mind. Alistair Lockhart, from a fellow Scot. On a scale of 0 to 10, how obsessed should I be about site speed for my sites? I mean, I think site speed is relatively important, so I'm going to say 5 out of 10. And I'll explain the reasons why. Because, a website loading, reasonably fast is going to work for a customer, right? So anything under 2 seconds is good. But you see a lot of guys obsessing with getting a website from 1.4 seconds to 1.3 seconds, and they've spent 3 months, chopping all this code away to try and do that. Is that going to move the needle as much? Absolutely not. So I think there becomes a point where, people do get bogged down and they want 100% scores on everything out there. And I just think that's a bit of overkill, if I'm being honest. So, I'm going to give it a 5 now. Listen, it probably does deserve slightly higher because I think site speed's important. You can lose a lot of people if your website's running really slow and all that kind of stuff. But people do become bogged down and obsessed with it to the point where they start to forget to do the basics of SEO, such as more content, more links, and more everything else. So yeah, that's why I'm giving it a 5, man. Hopefully, that answers your question. Yan Don, did you ever 301 an expired domain to a CID link? I have. I'm not going to lie. What I would say is do it very, very sparingly. Do not go aggressive at it because you don't need to, because not everyone's doing that. Half the population don't even know what the CID URL is. So you don't need to do it, in a spammy way. But I think a handful of them move the needle for me. That's all I'm going to say. Dan Jones, what's an affiliate niche you wouldn't go into and why? Oh, man, Dan. Do you know what? I'm not sure I wouldn't go into anything. I don't give a toss where I'm making money from. I've made money in all sorts of niches and worked with all sorts of clients, tantric massage, escorts. I've done porn. Not been in the porn, but obviously done SEO for porn websites. And do you know what? I'm not that fussed. I mean, certainly I wouldn't go into a niche, if it was like killing animals or something that was going to result in selling that product. Not that I'm a huge animal lover, but, there's just certain things that I wouldn't agree with. And I probably wouldn't do those because I just don't believe in those type of niches and the morals behind it. But in most niches, I really don't give a toss about. As long as it's legal and fair game and it's not hurting anyone, then I really don't care whether it's, selling sex toys or whatever. I really do not care. I don't have to get involved. I can just do my stuff and make money. So I'm not that fussed. So, so there you go. And Gary Farmer saying, I'm sure I've seen you in a porn video. Must have been a different guy. Nah, not for me. I've done porn. Yeah, Stephen. Not the way your dirty mind's thinking, but hey ho. Do you think SPA, single page application SEO, would take over after 1 to 3 years? No, no, I'm not having it. I think, single page application taking over. I just can't understand how that would logically work. We need multiple pages and everything else. I mean, people always say SEO is going to change this and SEO is going to change that. But, it all comes down to content and links, and that's never changed from day one. It's just it evolves slightly, but I can't really see a single page application taking over. Definitely not. Might be wildly wrong on that, unless Google really do shake up their algorithm and how they work, but I can't really see that happening because it just wouldn't make sense for that to happen. So yeah, I'm not, I can't see that working out too well. But guys, we have like 2 minutes left. So if you've got any last minute questions, let me know. Paul Delaney, Craig does Canvas Lang is surely a title waiting to happen. Other side of the city for me, I don't even know if I've ever been in Canvas Lang, to be honest. But we can make it happen. Craig does Canvas Lang. Whatever makes money, mate, I'm there. So if you've got anything happening in Canvas Lang, give me a shout and I'll be up there like a shot. But yeah, I really couldn't tell you much about Canvas Lang. I don't know, don't really know that side of the city very well. I'm a south side guy. So there you go. Are you based in Scotland, Paul? Out of curiosity, your name does sound Scottish, but and we probably have spoke several times on Facebook and whatnot, but I've just no idea who's from where anymore. Barely even know who I am sometimes. But Booth Co, love your training course, highly recommended. Thank you, and thank you for the nice email you sent yesterday. It's always nice to get feedback and hear that people do appreciate it. And yeah, good luck with it all, mate. Yeah, and Jan is saying, thanks for the tip. I will apply that now for CID. Do you also add CID to schema? I add my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram links to schema, and the same as. I hope it works. I have not added the CID to schema. I do also add in my social media and a couple other bits involved, my IMDb profile and stuff. I've not added my schema in, but worth a try. Definitely worth a try. And no problem at all for sharing my opinion. That job I talked about, it's only been a month I've joined it. Should I leave it and search for a better job anyway? Certainly, I wouldn't encourage you to leave a job, Stephen, before finding another one. I just wouldn't want to say that that's the right thing to do. Try and get yourself out of there by finding another job first. Work your way out of there. Because obviously times are hard, and I don't want to sit here and say, no, just leave and do that kind of stuff. I don't know your financial situation. I don't know what the job industry is like in India and how long you may be unemployed for. So sit tight and work your way out. Just get on Upwork at night and stuff like that. Get some income coming on, and see what happens from there. But yeah, don't jump ship too soon. That's all I'm going to say. Paul Delaney, the People's Independent Republic of Leith, but I live in Spain. Was trying to be funny about the pawn cat, possibly failed. Didn't even know what the pawn cat is, but yeah. I'm jealous that you're in sunny Spain. But thank you, everyone that's come on. And we've got one last question. How messed will a main page's ranking be if you reach it after a redirect? I mean, that's a very hard one to answer. Like, I'm not going to say that pages or rankings don't dip when you do redirects. They do. Now, people will argue that when you do a 301 redirect, it gives you all the link juice. I'm not sure that's the case. I would expect, some form of dip for sure, but obviously you've just got to top that power back up and make sure that you do all the appropriate redirects, and you should be in a good place. Right. So Stephen Shaprio, Jesus, you're not even 18 right now. Please tell me that's not you in the picture then, because there's like a dude there with a beard. I'm not even 18 right now, so I don't have to worry about a stable income. I'm just going all in right now and making as much money as possible. Even though you're not 18, mate, I think that, it's good to learn and stuff like that from an agency as well. Do what you think's right, but I just don't want to give the wrong advice here. And then you come back to me saying, I've not found a job in 6 months. But I think for anyone, it's easier to find work while you're working, rather than becoming desperate or anything like that. So bear that in mind. But that is us out of time, guys. So I will be back tomorrow for the Cashflow Digital Show. I'll be back on Wednesday with Chris Palmer. But I do appreciate all you guys coming on and giving me something to talk about today. And I will catch you all again soon. So thank you, everyone, for the questions. And I will speak to you all soon, man. Cheers.